Coming up on the last call, it's Clemson versus Alabama Part 3. Tide and Tigers dominate in their semifinal games, and they will meet in the national championship next Monday. We'll show you how both teams got it done in the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl. Plus, we take a look back at the best moments in high school sports from 2018, champions crowned and records broken. It's all on the last call, and it starts right now. Welcome back to The Last Call. I'm your host, Justin Holbrook. It's New Year's Eve. Happy holidays. Our present to you is taking a look back at the best high school sports moments and a college football year in review. That look back does not include yesterday's semifinal games, so let's start there and let's run it back. We spent a lot of time talking about these two guys, and for good reason. Oklahoma's Kyler Murray was the Heisman Trophy winner, and Tua Tagovailoa was the runner-up. But last night we found out which QB played for the better team as the Tide rolled past the Sooner wagon 45-34. Tide take the field looking to make their fourth straight appearance in the national championship. That doesn't even sound real. How about this to start? Tua across the middle to Devontae Smith. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he caught the game-winning touchdown in overtime last year to win the championship. 50 yards to the 25, and then on 3rd and goal, Damian Harris takes it in to give Alabama the 7-0 lead. Tide second possession back in the red zone. Huge third down, 3rd and 6. Tua lost it to Henry Ruggs III. What a catch, 14-0. Third possession, third tutty. Second of the game for Harris. 21-0. Bama led at the end of the first quarter. Ouch. Oklahoma's defense has given up more points than Alabama and Clemson combined, and it showed. Tua to Josh Jacobs steamrolls a soul and snatches it. Another touchdown, and Alabama led 31-10 at half. That means Nick Saban was pretty subdued, but this won't make him happy. Murray steps up in the pocket, a dime to Charleston Rambo. Sooners draw first blood, scoring 10 to start the second half. That made it an 11-point game, but Alabama was too much. Early in the fourth, Tua hits Smith across the middle. Tide scored again, winning 45-34. Look at Saban smiling, coming for Tua's job with that throw. For more, we turn to Chris Rankle in Miami.
Crimson and white at Hard Rock Stadium in South Beach as the Alabama Crimson Tide headed back to the national championship for the 4th straight years. They take down the Oklahoma Sooners. And really from the get-go, Alabama looked like they were going to be the ones to head on to Santa Clara in California. Alabama jumping out to a 28-0 lead in the first half. But then Oklahoma, they'd been in this position several times before, came back and made this a game in the 3rd and 4th quarter, giving Alabama something to contemplate as they head towards the Clemson Tigers.
I feel like we stopped ourselves a little bit tonight, but we played a good game offensively, I feel.
They got 85 guys on scholarship just like we got 85 guys on scholarship. They recruit the best, we recruit the best. So they got playmakers that can make plays. They made plays, we made plays, and we just made a little bit more tonight.
And it was a tale of two halves for Oklahoma quarterback Kyler Murray. Alabama able to corral the Heisman Trophy winner in the first half, but the second half Murray mounted a furious comeback, ending up with 308 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, with 131 rushing yards, and adding another score.
We came out in the first half, and we did a hell of a job containing Kyler Murray and containing their receivers. And just the second half, I feel like we didn't come out with the same energy that we came out with in the first half. But towards the end, we start rallying around each other and we finished better.
They just probably made some good adjustments and was able to, get us outflanked and make a few explosive plays to get back in the game. But, we held our own. I feel like we competed to the end.
He's very great. He's a great quarterback. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, super fast. So he showed everything, the reason why he was a Heisman Trophy.
So another year and another year of Alabama going to play for the national championship, and shocking who's waiting for them for the 4th straight year. It's going to be Alabama and Clemson playing in the college football playoff. This time they're playing for a national championship in Santa Clara. At Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, I'm Chris Rankle. Let's send it back to you.
So that means Alabama faces one of these two behind me. Notre Dame and Clemson are similar and yet vastly different. The same because both went undefeated to clinch a spot in the college football playoff, and yet the playoff is what separates them. Clemson has made the playoffs in 4 of the first 5 years, while the Fighting Irish have never made it this far. And there's a look at the true freshman quarterback Trevor Lawrence. How would he respond on the big stage? Pretty well early on. His throw to the other true freshman, Central grad Justin Ross on the 52-yard touchdown gives Clemson a 9-3 lead early in the second quarter. And Ross wasn't finished. On 3rd and 14, he outruns the safety in for the 42-yard tutty. The local kid had 137 yards in the first half That's a new Cotton Bowl record. 9 seconds left in the half. Lawrence lets it fly, and it's caught by T. Higgins. Take another look with one hand, pulls it into his body. 2 seconds left until halftime, and Clemson led big, 23-3 at the break. Same score late in the third. Not much running in the first half, but here it is. He gone. Travis Etienne, 62 yards, leaves Notre Dame in the dust, and they did that all game as Clemson wins 30-3, and Dabo Swinney enjoys the Gatorade bath.
Trevor, him and number 8 got it going early. That was the spark that we needed, and the big plays were definitely the difference in the game. I'm really proud of Trevor, his poise, and how he managed the game the whole way through. So phenomenal night. We're going to celebrate this tonight, and we're going to load up and get back to Clemson and get ready to go to California.
You know, there's not much pressure when you have guys that's good playing around you. So, you know, just that, and the coaches helped me a ton, just helping me prepare and getting me ready for all these situations. It's been really good.
This will be Clemson's third national championship appearance in 4 years, playing Alabama every single year. Auburn wanted to be in the semifinals. Heck, every team does. But they were actually expected to be there by many, starting the season as a top 10 team, beating another top 10 team in Washington. But the season went downhill from there, ending with 7 wins and 5 losses. Tigers had a chance to salvage some hope when they faced Purdue on Friday in the Music City Bowl in Nashville. Tigers on the attack early, barely a minute into the game. Former Lafayette star Jartavius Booby Whitlow, a 66-yard tutty. 7-0 Tigers right out the gate. Man, what a start. Second Auburn possession, second score for Whitlow. Direct snap, and he's in the end zone. 14-0 halfway through the first. Not much positive this year for Auburn, but Booby Whitlow has been a reason to keep watching. Another direct snap touchdown, 3 on the day, and we're only 8 minutes into the game. Wow. Then Gus Malzahn calling the shots on offense once again. Gonna let some other guys have some fun. Darius Slayton, a 74-yard bomb from Jarrett Stidham. So 4 possessions and 4 touchdowns, just like Alabama in the Orange Bowl. Slayton and Jarrett Stidham, who could have sat out because he's going to the NFL after this game, weren't done. Next possession, another one. Jail screen goes for 52 yards. Auburn led 56-7 at halftime, and they won 63-14.
We're doing pretty good already. You know, we've watched a lot of film. They're real impressive. You know, the fact that they beat Ohio State like they did. That's the team we're expecting to get.
They have a really good offense. I can tell you that. I'm not familiar with their defense. They do a lot of good things on special teams also. But their offense, they find a way to get their playmakers the ball. There's not too many teams that move the ball consistently on our defense. So, you know, we're kind of getting our mojo back, trying to get our swag back to play. The best game that we played all year. But they find a way to get their playmakers the ball, and they have a lot of them. So.
On the first day of the new year, the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs square off against the 15th-ranked Texas Longhorns in the Sugar Bowl. No, the Sugar Bowl is not part of the college football playoff this year, and Georgia just missed out on their spot after dropping the SEC championship to Alabama. Head coach Kirby Smart was worried that his team wouldn't understand how important the Sugar Bowl is to an older generation of fans, but when the players spoke, you could tell how much this game means to them.
Game right here is, like you said, last year we won that championship, all type of stuff, but this game right here is to show the world that what Georgia's going to have next year. So we really got to give a statement to the whole world, every college football team in the U.S. that Georgia not nothing to play with.
It's the next game for me. I'm motivated. We motivated. We want to beat them just as bad as we want to beat Alabama or Florida or anybody else. So it's not a motivation thing for me.
You've got a couple late nights coming up if you're a Georgia fan, because that game is at 8:45 Eastern on New Year's Day. The story of Mark Richt's coaching career stirs up plenty of emotion for Georgia fans. He was a good coach and won plenty of games, 145 to be exact, second only to the legendary Vince Dooley. But Dog fans will remind you he never won the big game. And it looks like he never will, as the former top dog and current Miami Hurricane head coach called it a career today. Richt, a former Miami quarterback, announced his retirement after 3 seasons coaching the Canes. At his alma mater, he brought Miami back to national relevance, racking up 26 wins, but he also had at least 3 losses each year. Many will remember Richt for 15 years he spent coaching the Georgia Bulldogs, winning the SEC championship in 2002 and 2005. The Canes have already named his replacement in defensive coordinator Manny Diaz. All right, still to come on The Last Call. As promised, we take a look back at the college football season for Auburn, Georgia, and of course, the dominant Alabama Crimson Tide. The way 2018 started in college football would be hard to top.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins!
Alabama's overtime win over Georgia in the national championship left two questions. Who would be the Tide starting quarterback this season, and what would happen if Georgia played Alabama again?
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Tua Tagovailoa was named the starter, and he remained QB1 all year. Behind the Heisman runner-up, the Tide ranked in the top 10 in total offense, scoring at least 50 points 8 times this year, setting a new school and SEC record.
You know, my success is because of my team's success, because of what my teammates have been doing, the guys that I have surrounding me. So, not really, you know, if we win another national championship, then I can say we did pretty good.
The defense was just as good, allowing less than 2 touchdowns a game, finishing in the top 10 as well, resulting in a perfect 12-0 regular season.
You know, success is not a continuum, it's momentary. And you have to keep focusing on what's in front of you, and you have to be able to focus on the things that made you successful to start with, which sometimes is very difficult to do. It's what we all call complacency. That's something that, you know, we try to preach to our players, and hopefully they understand that, but it's a work in progress.
Perfect is far from the right word to describe their rivals on the Plains. Auburn started strong, beating top 10 Washington in Atlanta, but that was about the only highlight of their season. The Tigers ended up with 7 wins and 5 losses, nearly costing Gus Malzahn his job.
My contract has not changed one bit. I was never told that I had to change my contract to keep my job. Got the support of our athletic director and president. I think the bottom line is when you go 7-5 and you have aspirations of winning a championship, which we did, and go 7-5, you know, no one's going to be happy. But I will tell you this, we've got really a lot to look forward to next year.
Malzahn is staying, but that was not the case for offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey and quarterback Jarrett Stidham, who declared for the NFL draft. And then there's the Dogs, hungry for revenge. They were caged up only once in Death Valley against LSU in the regular season. Despite calls for Justin Fields to replace Jake Fromm at quarterback, the sophomore remained the starter, and behind a top 15 defense, the Dogs won the East for a second year in a row, giving us the rematch in Atlanta.
I really don't look at it that way at all. It's not personal for me. I don't look at it as that at all. I mean, it would be gratifying to our players. It would be the next step towards going to the playoffs.
The stakes were slightly different for this showdown in A-Town. A spot in the college football playoff was on the line, and what was Georgia's revenge turned into Jalen's. Hurts replaced an injured Tua in the fourth quarter, leading the Tide to a game-tying and game-winning touchdown as Alabama once again overcame a second-half deficit to beat the Dogs in the Benz.
I've probably never been more proud of a player than Jalen. You know, it's unprecedented to have a guy that won as many games as he won. I think 26 or something over a 2-year period. Start as a freshman. Only lose a couple games this whole time that he was a starter. And then all of a sudden, he's not the quarterback. All right, and how do you manage that? How do you handle that? You got to have a tremendous amount of character and class to put the team first, knowing that your situation is not what it used to be. And for a guy that's a great competitor, you know, that takes a lot. It's not easy to do.
The loss left Georgia on the outside looking in for a repeat appearance in the college football playoff, while the top-ranked Tide prepare for their Orange Bowl against Oklahoma in the semifinal. Reporting on your side, Justin Holbrook, News 3 Sports.
We're still serving on the last call, and we move from college to high school. Jack Patterson takes us through a trip down memory lane for the teams that made history by winning a state championship this year. Stick around.
Starting over in Georgia, 2 of our top teams playing for the GHSA 1A Girls Basketball Championship. Marion County and Greenville faced off in Macon for the 4th time in the season. This time with the Lady Patriots taking home the state title with a 73-52 win over Marion County. Coach Waquisha Tenney praised the effort of her team after the game.
This is my first one, and hopefully I get 3 more with the freshman group I got. I got 8 freshmen coming back, so I got 3 years to work with them, so I think we'll be here again next year.
The Columbus Blue Devil boys golf team will also bring home a state title to the Valley. Columbus High won the 4A boys golf tournament by 8 shots over St. Pius to 10. Now while Ben Carr took home the individual title, head coach Chris Parker could put a ring on the pinky finger, winning his 5th state title as the head coach of the Blue Devils. Over in Alabama, the Auburn Tigers had a remarkable year, winning 3 state titles, the most of any school in the area this year. In March, the girls' golf team finished in second the 2 previous seasons, but this year they won the 7A golf tournament. Over on the pitch, the Tigers soccer team knocked off the Vestavia Hills in the 7A title match to bring home state title number 2 to Auburn. And finally, the Tiger baseball team got over the hump, winning the 7A baseball championship after coming close in previous seasons. On the hardwood, Coach Richard Carter's Panthers completed a 3-peat. Lynette held off St. Luke's Episcopal 41-38 to clinch their 3rd consecutive state crown. Senior Emmanuel Littles put it into perspective on what it meant for the city of Lynette to win 3 straight state titles.
The 3rd straight. It feels crazy because you don't see too many people do that, and from Lynette being a small town, and we do it for the whole area, no one made it this close but us, and we did it, and we bring it back to Chambers County.
As the seasons changed, our focus turned to the gridiron. The Chambers Academy Rebels reached their 4th straight championship game, leading in the 4th quarter of the previous 2 games, only to fall short. But the Rebels put away Crenshaw Christian late in the 4th quarter to seal the deal and bring home their 1st state championship in program history.
It's just special when a coach is able to spend time with his kids from 7th grade on up and watch them grow from young men to adults. It's unbelievable to see them culminate their career with a state championship, and my heart is full right now.
Up to Class 7A, the Central Red Devils have been residents of the Heartbreak Hotel, falling to McGill-Toolen in the 7A semifinals the last 3 seasons. This season was different, however. This year, Central shut out McGill-Toolen in the 2nd round. Then in the semifinals, the Devils pulled off a 4th quarter comeback to beat Lee. That set up a date with the Thompson Warriors in the 7A title game. Over on the Plains, LSU commit Peter Parrish had his best game and was named the MVP. The Red Devil defense forced 4 turnovers in the 3rd quarter alone to finally give Central their 1st state title in 25 years. Parrish and head coach Jamie DuBose talked with us after the game.
I mean, we just did it for our community, really. I mean, words can't describe this feeling. I mean, we just feel like we're on top of the world right now. We're going to go home, celebrate, enjoy this moment while we can. And, it's good to know that we went out with a bang. So.
It was easy to quit, in the semifinals against Robert E. Lee, but because of what our coaches have been doing, our coaches had taught them not to quit and to keep fighting. And tonight, they came out and they played and they did what they were really supposed to do. And I'm just, I'm proud to be with them. I'm proud to have this football team, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment. It's your time. Humble yourselves after Christmas, and we'll get back to work trying to get another one.
From all of us here at News 3 Sports, congratulations to our 2018 state champions. We'll be right here covering your favorite team in 2019 as well. On your side, in Columbus, Jack Patterson, News 3 Sports.
There's only 1 full month left in the high school basketball regular season, and this past week we got a good chance to see some of our local teams and how they would stack up in the Muskogee County Christmas Tournament. Here's my top 3 games. Number 3, Hardaway Hawks taking on 7A Auburn on Friday. Check out the effort by Dominique Ford. Gets the block, saves the ball from going out of bounds, and it turns into a layup by Dennis Moore. Hawks up 17-10 with 5:11 left in the 2nd quarter. Tigers on the attack. Trevor Mashburn and Miles Hunt knocks down the 3. Auburn up 8 at the halftime. Hawks fight their way back into it. Inbounds pass to Harold Moore. Nails the skyhook. Tied at 28 in the 3rd. In the 4th, Ahmad Maddox draws the foul and comes down hard, but gets up to complete the 3-point play. They take a 3-point lead, and then Auburn came back. They were in it by 5, but this dunk by Maddox seals the 52-43 win as he finished with a game-high 20. All right, number 2 from the tournament comes from a huge Saturday afternoon game between 11-2 Auburn and 9-3 Harris County. Tied at 16 late in the first half. Nyjah Carter hit in midair, but the 3 still goes in. Tigers led by 3 at the half. But it was the Tigers of Auburn who came out on the attack in the 3rd quarter. Casey Core forces the turnover, and Shania Hawley makes the layup. That capped off a 9-0 run to start the quarter. Just before the buzzer in the 3rd, Januria Carter Ransom steals back the lead 33-31 to end the third quarter. Harris County up by 5. Less than a minute to go. Deja Chandler weaves through traffic and finds Tasia Fanning for the bucket. Fanning led all scorers with 23, and Harris County tops Auburn 46-37. And finally, number 1 was the last game of the tournament. It's Spencer versus dominant Central. Red Devils were up by 22 at half, but Spencer came out on a mission in the third. Jalen Sellers throws it down with authority. Green Wave started on an 8-0 run. Still trailed by double digits because Central's pretty good. Right there, you got the layup from Tremere Brown, and then you got some good ball movement right here. It's going to be the two-pointer for Josh Biggs. Big lead, still intact, 20 to be exact. Malachi Morris pokes the ball away, takes it in for the slam. Central was up by 15 with 5 minutes left, but this is why it's number 1, because the Green Wave came all the way back and won 64-63. That'll do it for the last call. Time to lock up, but you can follow us on social media at WRBL Sports.